in the country. As the chairman has already said, the schools are not yet permanently closed. They will be permanently closed only if you don't meet the standards that have been set to warrant you run a school. 4 out of these 84 have already come forward, and they've been looked into, and I'm sure their keys will be given, because they would not have come back if they had not put in place what is expected in their schools. If it's not put in place, rest assured that we will take back those keys, or we leave you with the keys and ensure that you don't operate. But one important thing that I want to re-emphasize that the chairman also alluded to is that there is no country in this world where somebody can just walk in and wake up one morning and think you can establish a school, establish it without going through the proper process of opening a school. He also has said that this time round maybe people didn't know, although it's not an excuse, that they shouldn't open those schools without proper registration. And that is why we have come out to sensitize the public. Because the next time round, those that are found wanting will be prosecuted. And I want to make this clarification. I also make this clarification that some members of the task force were being called to say that they are the ones that close their schools. Let me clarify that they don't have the mandate to close the school. They can recommend. The closure of schools rests with the ministry, and indeed the minister for that matter. So I don't want anyone to blame a member of the task force. Well, while one of them was seated in my office, somebody called blaming him of closing his school. They don't have the mandate to close schools. As already has been said, a presentation of what has been done will be made, and the floor will be open, and I want us to put all the cards on the table and discuss the issue, because we are not going to compromise people opening schools without authorization. We have seen registration granted, approval granted for schools to operate at one level, and the next thing you know, they graduate themselves illegally to the next level. At every level you want to go to, you need to seek the approval of the ministry before you get into the next level, because we don't want to see, for example, a secondary school being run in a facility that is meant for ECD or a lower basic school. So at every level you want to move to, you need to make sure that you seek approval for it. We have seen those incidences. People apply to register an ECD center. The next thing we know, it graduates into a lower basic school or even an upper basic school. It's not acceptable. I don't think there is, it will be a surprise for people that have been visited this time around, these 242 schools, because if you all remember, in July, we were on TV talking about these problems, and that necessary action will be taken to regularize the situation. And it took a whole year before we are gathered here today to talk about these issues. So you are all welcome to ask questions, make comments. It's an open forum. The Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education will always open up to listen to concerns of those that receive the services that we deliver, but also those who have taken up the responsibility of being part of the education service delivery in this country. Without further ado, I want to welcome you once again and thank you for coming. I know it's Ramadan. We'll make sure that we won't keep you here so that the Fullers will not cry. I'm not going to talk about the Jolas because I've been given a judge's show name, but I want to welcome all of you and thank you for responding to the invitation. And on that note, I wish to declare this forum open and wish us a pleasant interaction.
For declaring open the Bantaba, I'm particularly happy with the statement that the task force has no power to close or open a school, because we've been confronted with this problem, and I'm happy that it has come from the authority itself. So now I would like to hand you over to the Permanent Secretary, and he's going to make a remark and make the remark in Wolof.
And just allow me to say, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to fill in some few gaps, because the minister has already set the stage for the discussions, and really the purpose of getting you here to interface with us is basically not just to listen to us, but for us to listen to you, because we thought the television program would not have done justice to it. It could have been a phone-in program, but based on our experience, because the time is so short, you cannot exhaustively deal with the issues. And sometimes, you know, callers would call and raise issues that are not on the table for discussion, and you get distracted. But we thought, you know, this would be a very good way of, you know, interfacing with you and listening to you, and you also hearing from us. ak li ministre bi wax bi moo gaaral kàddoom mooy ne mbiri school yi ñoo ubbi te ñi ko ubbi doon ñoo xam ne duñ nguur gi mooy suñ ambi jàmma yi nga xam ne ñoom yaakaar nañ ne mun nañoo am school.
If you have any questions that you want answered during the holy month of Ramadan, all you have to do is to send us a text on the following numbers: AfriCell on 2020-200, QCell 3030-300, Chromium 6060-600, or on the Gamcell line on 999-0909. Your questions are...
It has never been the intention of the ministry to close any school. In fact, it's the ministry that has opened its arms to the private sector to say, come in. But there are guidelines. Yes, we want you to come in, but you must observe some guidelines. We don't want every Tom, Dick and Harry to come in. And this is the bit that has been missed. We have invited the private sector to come in, but then with the understanding that they will observe certain rules. I know in the past people have complained about, we have applied and we have not heard from the ministry. But that's not an excuse for you to start. In fact, we have also recognized that the turnaround time for application to receipt of a response has been unnecessarily too long, and we are working